Hello everyone, welcome back to Site Programming channel, and I am Shareef from Information Technology 3rd BTech, and today we are going to discuss about recursive descent parser. And coming to recursive descent parser, this is a top-down processor technique, and the name itself specifies the meaning. It contains recursive procedures. Recursive means a function which is called by itself. Recursion descent parser is nothing but we have to do recursive procedure for each and every non-terminal that is available in the grammar. And let us discuss about some steps for constructing recursive descent parser. Before that, we already discussed what is recursive means. We know that recursive means which is called by itself. It is called recursive. And recursive descent parser is a top-down parser technique. And recursive descent parser is nothing but we have to write recursive procedures for each and every non-terminal that is available in the grammar. And now let us discuss about steps for constructing recursive descent parser. And here we can discuss few steps for constructing recursive descent parser. Here the first step is if the input is non-terminal, then we have to call the corresponding function. The first step is if the input is non-terminal. If we can say non-terminal means uppercase letter. Uppercase letter is a non-terminal letter, non-terminal. Then we have to call the corresponding function. And the next step is, which is the second step, if the input is terminal, then compare the terminal with the corresponding input symbol. If they are same, then increment input point. And we can see that if the input is terminal like symbol, lowercase letter, anything apart from non-terminal, if the input is terminal, then we have to compare the terminal with the corresponding input symbol. If they are same, if the corresponding input and the symbol are same, then we have to increment the input point. If a non-terminal produces more than one production, like we can, and it is the third step, like if a non-terminal produces more than one production, then all the production should be written in the corresponding function procedure. And the fourth step is there is no need to define any main function. And we can see this is the fourth step. There is no need to define any main function or no need to declare any variable. If we define main function, then we have to call the start symbol function from the main function. And these are the main steps for constructing recursive descent parser. We can understand more briefly when we saw the example. And in the next slide, we can discuss about some example of recursive descent parser, how it works and how it operates. And here we are going to discuss the example of recursive descent parser. And we can see that here we have to define only the procedures of non-terminal, and we know that the uppercase letters are non-terminals like E dash or E epsilon. And we can see that the terminals are I plus and E. These are the these are the terminals, because we know that the lowercase letter symbols are known as the terminals, and the non-terminals are which are uppercase letters. And we can see the program. It is a simple program for these production rules. We can see if input double equal to I, we have to do input plus plus. That means it is the increment of input point. When we can increment the input point. If it is a non, if it is a terminal, we have to increase the input point, we have to increment the input point. We can see that the first one is e. E is the non-terminal, so we call the function. And the when it is I is the terminal, then we have to do the input, I mean increment point, input increment. And now the e prime is the non-terminal, so we have to call the function, and it will again run this. And when it is plus, it can check this, and it is a not, it is a terminal, so it can run the program. If input is called plus plus, we have to do the input increment, because it is a terminal, so we have to do increment the input point. And we can see that now the next one is I is a terminal, so again we have to do the increment and else return. If epsilon is a lowercase, we can use either this or e. And now we can observe through this program, if the input is non-terminal, then we have to call the, again we have to call the function. If the terminal, if the input is terminal, we have to do the increment of the input point. We can observe this program, it will work as the recursive descent parser. And this is and we else it will return the, it will give output, it will return to the program. And this is about the recursive descent parser. And we have brief note, like simple note, like recursive descent parser is a top down parser. And the name itself specifies the meaning, it contains recursive procedures. And we know the recursive procedure means which can call itself, which is called by itself, it's called recursive. And the capital letters is the uppercase letters is non-terminal. And when the when we can acquire non-terminal, we have to call the function. After calling the function, if the input is terminal, we have to increment the input. And thank you guys for giving this opportunity, thank you for listening. And this is all about recursive parser. Thank you guys, thank you for listening, and thank you for giving this opportunity. And please like, share and subscribe for the side programming channel. If you subscribe the channel, we get encouraged and we do more videos for study. Thank you.